Welcome back to the GLAC Studios oil painting tutorial. I'm Gomati Sivasankaran. We are in class 6 of Santhana Lakshmi painting. It's one of the 8 forms of Lakshmi avatars that are known for all the positive propensities of life. Santhana refers to children, progeny. So this is the goddess of progeny. All the wealth in terms of family and friends and such relationship basically. So this is the goddess that is providing us with all that, and we are also celebrating her by giving this twist by using images of little girls from different countries in this picture. So we have the image of Australian girl, I think, yes, for this picture, and we are using the image of a multicultural background baby girl for the baby image. That's what we've been doing. We have done layers 1, which is the wash, and then layer 2 was the filling and blocking. Proceeding to the filling and blocking, we did this planning and execution using grids, bringing this idea to the canvas. Once we did with the layer 2, that is filling or blocking, we moved on to layer 3, which was a little bit of dark versus light, isn't it? So that's where that flat image started turning into something. You see that this is the result of our layer 3 that was end of class 5. And what we have done is kind of giving us an idea. Still good, but there's a lot of work to be done. And now how do we take this flat layer? We have done a little bit of dark versus light, but we need to take it further down the lane into even more depth. Depth is the key for the coming up classes. So we bring in the depth in this picture, and we start with a lot of detailing. We did get started with some detailing in the previous 2 classes also, but now you're going to see a little more of that. Yeah, so we will begin with the face and the body of the girl, Santhana Lakshmi image first, and then work through the sorry, work through the image of the baby girl also. One at a time. We'll start with the skin tones, the colors that are applicable for the skin color here. Australian skin tone. I think the last time we had used this, we used a bit of crimson yellow ochre or vermilion yellow ochre with primary yellow, maybe. So we did that, and also added the titanium white to that to pair up the game. For the darker tonalities, we stuck to the ivory black burnt umber combination, but we didn't need that much of it because the color tonality of her hair and skin is so light, it's so much lighter. So maybe needed crimson as well. So let's stick to that same series of color ranges and then see how far we go with it. And I noticed that I need to correct something about this hand as well. I don't know, I feel that this isn't right. This hand, these all look perfect, but I need a bit of correction to be done here. So that's also there in my case, but otherwise, things are pretty much fine. The finger looks good here, but this finger needs a little bit of adjustment with the height, maybe. So keeping all this in mind, remember I also mentioned that we do check for possible error corrections and keep working on it as we go on, because it's work in progress. Yeah. So let's pick up the colors real quick and get started with the work. I am picking up. I've got primary yellow or permanent yellow. So getting started with that, and I will show you my palette also in a short while. Yeah? My palette is already loaded with a lot of colors, and it's got there is vermilion, there is crimson, there is primary yellow, yellow ochre, titanium white, black, and burnt umber is also ready. Maybe I will need a little more of that. So I've got my colors. I'm moving on with a flat brush. Number one. And let's see, I'm just going to mix the colors first to say where things are and what kind of color tonality I would need here. The spaces. I'm not going to take titanium white directly. I want to use these colors to see how the color ranges would turn out. Just mixing a range of colors here. So slight bit of crimson, I guess I have this color that is on the darker side of her. To lighten this up, yes, maybe I will use titanium white. So I'll have a lighter version of the color and a slightly darker version of the color. And last time I did mention that it helps if you at least manage to have it, let's say 80% of what you see here. But this time I would say try to move a little more than that if you can. This is slightly darker version. I want to add this to the lighter skin tonality. How far light is light. And titanium white, be very careful while mixing it, because it is it is helping in bringing down the color tonality, but very soon touches the level that it dampens that beauty of a color easily. So be very cautious with that. Yes, I think I have the color now, the lightest of the tonality that I've been looking for, and I'm going to go around throwing it in those sections where I wanted the light to be shown. The nostrils, neck and such. Also I will use this in the hands, and this is the hand I felt I need to work on. I'm just going to do a little bit of shaping here. There must be some kind of adjustment coming through. Yeah? added a lighter tonality in the spaces wherever needed. Ready to charge a little bit with that slightly darker tonality because she's got a very light skin, you know. So just be careful with that. Don't make it too dark. And also her hair texture is so light as well. Okay, this is the color that I had used previously as well. Needs a bit of lightening into that. So it looks like we are repeating ourselves and doing similar to what we have done in our previous layer, but very soon you're going to see that it isn't. There is a lot of detailing that we're going to kickstart right away, so get ready for that. Fill them in. Okay. Yes, I think the color is kind of ready. Now we are to get started with the detailing of the eye first, and then we move on to the other So I am going to rely on some thinner brushes to help me with the process. Trying to find some okay, I have a couple of zero brushes that's going to help me with the process. Excuse me. Okay, so to get started, first of all, I want to capture the eye color. And the eye color is what we did with the eye color last time is that we left that slightly on the gray side in the previous layer. So now what we are going to do is to add a tiny bit of ivory black right in the middle, because that's the pupil. And then do the sides of the iris to kind of refine the iris. Leave it there. And now we need, yes, a mixture of burnt umber with ivory black. So it's still on a darker brown tonality, so it doesn't just make sure it doesn't fall into the trap of getting totally black. Yeah, it's a very tricky color. So and do test it with your own space here in your palette or somewhere in a paper or something, just to be sure before you get on to the work. Because you're going to work on the details here, yeah. So right here what I'm doing is to start doing the eye, and so I managed to do the line, the core line of the eye, and I know it is slightly on the darker side, but that doesn't matter. I'm just going to create that now, and we will dampen it a little later when we are working on the upcoming layers, or even while we are doing the blending as well. Yeah, so I guess I have managed that somehow now, and I'm just going to do a slight bit of shading with that color, but not actually using the color effectively to shade, because there is the wet canvas here. I just gave the skin tones, so the canvas is wet enough, and I can take that and use that here, no? Under the eye and such. And I need another clean brush because this color is slightly on the darker side, and we don't need that much. I'm going to use this, use the skin tone, and blend it, dampen it a little bit. How about that? What I'm doing is the eyelid, the upper eyelid. So we manage that. I think I need to bring it down one tad bit, so it's easy for me also to manage here. So I am using this, whatever is left over in my brush, and I'm going to go boldly over the sections where there is shade showing up, and create the shade. Okay, so I have the other brush also with me. So what I will do is that I will use this to shade or sharpen the nostril area, and then use this color a tad bit here on the nose, and I will use the other brush to blend that color in, so that there is this nice darkening on the side of the nose that comes up through here. We manage this now, nearly there with the eye. The lighter shades do come in, take over on these sections. Once this is done, we can focus on slightly darker shades coming in. To the side, and this I would use because I'm boldly going to use a little bit of crimson here to darken that, because there is a bit of highlight coming in a manner that it is on a blushy tonality. So I'm using that boldly here. trying to find another clean brush. I have brush 0 to blend this in. Yes. So the color, what I slightly added is crimson, because I don't want to darken it with that burnt umber color tone anymore. It has done its job, but we don't need that all the time. So I'm just going to rely on a slight bit of crimson to darken this side. Done that. Now let's work on the eyebrow. The eyebrow isn't so dark at all, so I wouldn't use that black and burnt umber. The eyebrow, I would stick to a bit of yellow ochre. I think it is almost like the skin color, so yellow ochre, skin color. So one tone stronger than the skin color maybe, and I will just take it there and try to do the eyebrows with that. Let's try this. I've got yellow ochre. I mixed a little bit of that skin color to yellow ochre and got it ready for the eyebrows. I think that works. That is more than enough because it isn't so dark at all. That's it. And I think that's the great color for us to work on the work as a basis on the hair as well, a little bit. Not everywhere, but yeah, in some places. So I'm just using the rest of that color there. That's very much the one. Okay, so again going for the skin color in the ears, slightly darkened tonality, inside the ear, a little bit here. So we have kind of done some basis work on the eye and a little bit on the nose. There's a lot to be done on the nostrils, the shapes and such, and then we'll have to work on skin tones here underneath the nostrils, lightening up. Okay, I think I'm getting ready to work on the lips. Okay, for the lips, what I'm going to suggest is that we take a little bit of burnt umber, not a black, definitely not black. Take it down to crimson, blend it with crimson, and you'll have a nice dark tonality. They can be lightened with skin color, so don't try to add white. So this is the color that I'm going to use to first add to these sides and the layer of the lip. Yeah. And once that is done, I'm going to burnt umber and crimson along with it and use it for the rest of the lip. enhanced a little bit now. So now it's a time to do a little more of, refining these shades and shapes and bringing them all together. To do that, let's get started with the darkest of the tonalities that we were working on, and that was burnt umber and a little bit of ivory black. These are really, strong, the colors. We know where it should go. There are only few places it would go. One spot is that section inside the lip. You know that section inside the lip, that is creating that. What else? Okay, we defined the jawline also using this, because that had a bit of challenge even in the previous attempt. Let's work on that, because that section is also showing that's where the ear is ending, so that's exactly where the jawline comes to close. So I'm using that here. Okay, and this is the section where the hair is, so that is also defining the shape of the ear. This will be, maybe we'll have some sort of jewelry here. I'm just going to leave it like that and darken the rest of the sections. With strokes. Yeah. With those strokes there. Some strong strokes going on the head as well here. Nothing much in this side. This is kind of giving us an input as to where her jawline is. Yes, so that is helping. Let's adjust things a little bit. Good. So we focus a little more on the slightest details of her smile here, and we will just leave it like that, because that has to be blended in as well. And let's look at using this darker tonality also efficiently in the nostril area. So we could blend that in. Yeah. Okay, I think I am done with the darker tonality usage. I am going to wipe off this brush because I see the need for using this nice zero brush. I'll go back to the skin tone. I want to fix that shape of the neck here a little bit. Done. And I want to go back to blending things along as well, in starting with the forehead, adding a tad bit of titanium white here to lighten up the storyline here. I'm looking for a bit more titanium white, boldly adding it here, lightening up around the forehead and also here in the nostrils. And I wanted to kind of that space that we used, I at least created for the nose blocks, or sorry, what do you call it? The pores in the nose. I think I wanted it to be slightly lesser, and I have done that now. I'm going to play a little bit of crimson also to create a kind of blushy spot here on the nostrils. Play around with the color here. Yes, it works. I wanted to use that also in the cheek here. So let's blend that in. Now the sharpening part of the nostrils is just because there is this fair amount of light falling in on the center, the tip of the nose. Let's blend that in nicely. There's a bit of shade coming in. Center of the eyebrow area, I'm just dampening it a little bit. I'm adding crimson. Crimson really helps. I can see wherever I want to, highlight things, because her skin tone is just in that blushy zone. So I'm just using that. Blend it in. So I'm working on the forehead. Be very careful and blend things in. Let's just come down to the center here. This looks good. I think this is looking good. Now I'm blending this in the manner that it starts. Okay. So I'm able to build in that shape, and now I want to adjust a little bit of the cheek here. Okay, let's do this. So this side is getting good. The angle of that cheek needs to be, the jawline isn't right. I can see that now. Sometimes it takes a while for us to figure out errors. We just keep at it. You figure out all that. Slight adjustment to the jawline, and I want it to be clearly done. So I'm going to use titanium white to block off that section. I think I used a little more of the jawline than needed, so I'm just going to adjust it here. Taking away that section, so it is now, you see that the face is lifted up, kind of removed with the white. So that was the angle that wasn't right, so I've just fixed it here. And there's something about the shape of this face that also has to be brought up right. And we need to understand that the forehead still looks slightly bigger because, baby hair needs to be done. We'll work on it so lightly. I'm highlighting a little bit of the ear, adding slight bit of titanium white here. I'm just aware that I wouldn't do too much of it there. that's where the ear goes. Skin tone again to adjust the neckline, because now that I have changed things around, the neck has to be adjusted a bit more. Done. I think when we played with this crimson on the nostrils, it started giving a very nice shade there, and I like it. I want to use that crimson to play that on the cheek as well a bit more, so we can use that to our benefit. Let's see. Just gently blending that in. So you see that I am actually mixing colors live on the canvas. Keep blending that nicely, that it will start vanishing. Very slowly it will start giving that effect that you are looking for. So right now I'm just going to do that same thing around the upper lip, slightly lightening up in the spaces and leaving it as such. And this darker tonality that we just, gave an arc in the sides of the lip to show that smile, we just blend it in ever so lightly so that it still exists, but then it's just thinned down. You see that it's there, but it isn't really dominating there, huh? Fair enough. Now we need to do that stronger, crimson and burnt umber line. I want to boldly give on that, yes, jaw, because there is some darkening that we need to show. In the neck, that's brilliantly coming down like this. The shade is here, the shade is coming down like that, yeah? So I'm just going to draw that, leave that there, leave the shade there, and start blending it in. Ever so lightly. Take the skin color also to blend it in if you need more, but I think for now it looks like I'm doing fairly well with the blending here. Slowly, gradually, I'm just playing around and showing the skin color. I'm adding a bit of titanium white in the edges because there's light catching in the neck like this, and I want to highlight it nicely, and also in the jawline. I want to be very cautious, but adding a bit of the titanium white, all done only through the zero brush. blending it in and pepping up her chin bone a little bit. She looks so serene already here. And we haven't started working on her hair. But look what we could do now. This is the goddess of progeny. She has to emote wealth in terms of relationships. Have you felt that? You're just surrounded by so many loving, caring people, and feeling blessed even by those that loved ones that may not be near you at this moment, but you know that they always are looking out for you, caring for you. That amazing feeling, she is just having to show that, demonstrate that she is that. She is all that. She's that representation of this wealth. So just think of all that great things, and you'll just create her the way that she deserves to be. Tad bit of titanium white. I'm just slightly adding on the teeth, for the teeth, because it looks dampened, so I'm just adding it slightly, trace of it, not too much. Okay, this correction, I'm just I think we'll fix that the moment when we do the background of it. And now I think the focus has to shift to her forehead. We need to work on her baby hair. I think she's got a lot of it. Yellow ochre mixed with a little bit of skin color to dampen the yellow ochre. That is what I had used on the hair as well. I'm just going to do that, and I want to use that here to first lay the foundation of the baby hair. And then there are other color tonalities also going in there, you can see. This side is slightly on the lighter side. Okay, that's going to be a bit of a challenge for me, but we'll figure it out. So I have given that base color. I'm going to slightly add traces of burnt umber, but just being careful. I don't want it to get dark at all. Just want that few strokes of highlights there to give that effect. Let's take it there. Instead of using only white, let's do that lightest of the skin color to give that highlight in the hair. It will blend with the other colors that we used, so nothing to worry about. So just take that skin color again boldly, use it in the hair, but just use it in the form of slight strokes. We'll come back to working on this again in our next layer, but as much as we can, if we can build that texture here, it's going to help in the process. So I'm just building that here. So it's giving a feeling of all those small little hair strands and such. darker color again to go for some strokes on the hair here, just to do some of them, leave them there. So the combination kind of works now. Yes. So we have managed to do, let's do how, okay. We have managed to do her facial structure and kind of enhance her hair texture a bit, and work on her lips and face, what do you call the also her eyes, nose, ears and such. So we have done quite a bit here already, but we have to continue the process for her hands as well. So I'm just finishing with the hair here and using a bit of skin tone to lighten up in some places where it is a little too strong. Okay, so I think we are done with that for now. We will move on to the hands. The hands, let's do the contouring with a bit of burnt umber and crimson this time. Let's not take ivory black. Burnt umber and crimson, let's mix that to do the contours this time. And the contours of the hands, I think this one was right. I have to adjust certain things, isn't it? Because I had something going wrong here in this hand. Contours of this hand. Fingers. Very quickly, gently, let's do the contours, and then we'll start blending things into that great level of detail. But yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. There's one more thing about this fingers, this set of fingers here and the hand that I wanted to adjust also. Slightly making it one step bigger or lengthier maybe, because something wasn't right, at least for the when I looked at it. So I have it done, and you know what we do? We blend things gently, wiping off the same brush. I'm just sticking to the same brush here. Taking skin color, blending that in ever so lightly, blending this crimson in, and yeah, use skin color and blend things in, and we will lighten it up also in the places needed in a short while. Let's work on the blending first to the skin color and sharpen that the contours. Okay, this hand is, I need to show the correction, so I'm just using the titanium white in the section where the angle isn't right. Yeah. I don't want to repeat the mistake again and again. Huh? So blending is kind of working here. Going on with the blending in other places as well. I'm just checking if you are able to see things better. More of skin color to blend things in. Just checking how the skin tonality is. It's one step down as compared to her face. I'm just keeping a watch on that. I'm aware of it, but I'm just going on blending, and we will bring the tone to the matching to the face shortly. Just keeping an eye on the face, because sometimes what we have done in the hands might be looking really cool, perfect, but if it is in sync with the, if it is not in sync with what we have done in the face, then it will look like the hands of another girl and not hers. So that risk is there, and I can see that it's there. So I'm going to take the lightest shade that we mixed for the skin tone to use. I'm just working on these three hands. So you can see the difference here. The contour lines are really visible there, and here it's blended in a little bit, and I'm using the lightest of the skin tone that we used to highlight a bit of her hand here. A little more of titanium white. Not too much, a little more isn't too much, just remember that. I'm just adding a tad bit of it to show the highlights. Blending that in nicely. So now it begins to look in sync with her face. guess this section is kind of done. I want to use the lightest of the shades on the fingers as well. Titanium white, slightly adding onto the highlights, but not too much. This side looks okay. Now we work on the other three hands, and then we'll make a stop with this set of work, but we'll have to work on the face of the child as well. Blending in the colors. You know the rules now very well, isn't it? Okay, nearly there with the blending here. With all these layers, you know what we have done? We've just, created layers and layers of this shades, one on top of the other, and that's exactly what is helping here in the process of, bringing up this face and the hand nicely together, blending them. So even though we are using the colors and again, shading them on top of each other, just remember what is happening is it's binding on top of each other, isn't it? The binding is what is coming up nice. Keep that momentum going and keep on blending. Let's do the lighter highlights also for this hand. Bringing in that shade. Nearly there, nearly getting there, isn't it? Okay, and remember there's one thing we need to do. There's only one hand that is just visible like this. We need to do the small little partitions. I don't remember the veins, or no, it's not veins. Those lines in our fingers. So I'm just going to do that with that crimson and burnt umber mixture. Ever so lightly giving that, and also remember between the two fingers there is this triangle sort of a thing that is appearing, that is kind of a dark section between the flesh, so give that also the space. The painting, how it's nice. Okay, so some more of the skin color to adjust here in the palm. Yes, we are done. Let's look at how she is looking overall. Um, there is a little more of white shade that we had to add here because it looks like the light is coming from her side here. Mostly, at least the way the picture we have picked up is showing, and let's keep it to that. So that's how she is looking, and we are done with the face and body skin tone of Santhana Lakshmi, but we are still to work on the baby girl. That is something to be done. So it's also going to be a part of this session. If you want to take a break and do this color tonality, that is also fine. Otherwise, we will continue with that also in this class. So I'm going to record this as another part.